For over 2 decades, we've been invited into their homes. We've watched them grow, get married, and build families of their own. We've celebrated their triumphs and shared in their struggles. The Roloff family, for many of us, they feel like a part of our family. But behind the picturesque pumpkin patches and the warm family moments, a secret war has been brewing. A war fought not in front of the cameras, but in the cold, sterile language of network contracts. And at the very center of this conflict are the most innocent members of the Roloff clan, the grandchildren. For weeks, our channel, LPBW Update, has been working with unconfirmed insider reports, piecing together a puzzle that the network never wanted you to see. Today, we can finally reveal the heartbreaking truth. A leaked document, a clause so cynical and manipulative, it reframes everything we thought we knew about little people, big world. This isn't just a family show anymore. It's a high-stakes game. And the grandchildren are the pawns. What if I told you that every time you see Jackson, Lila, or any of the Roloff grandkids on your screen, it's not a simple family moment? What if it's the result of a calculated negotiation? An unconfirmed insider report, which we are treating as an exclusive theory, suggests the existence of a clause in the Roloff's talent contracts that essentially holds the grandchildren's screen time hostage. According to our sources, this clause ties the visibility of the children directly to their parents' willingness to meet specific storyline demands. No drama, no farm conflict, no deeply personal confessions. Then your kids might just find their charming moments left on the cutting room floor. It's a heartbreaking system that turns family love into contractual leverage. The children, in essence, have become the currency of the show. This is the story of how a wholesome family reality show may have been twisted into a corporate chess match, and how the Roloff children, Zach, Tori, Jeremy, Audrey, and even Jacob, have been fighting back in ways you may not have even noticed. What we're about to break down is explosive, and it will change the way you watch LPBW forever. Before we dive into the evidence and connect the dots, please help us get this story out there. Hit that like button right now so the YouTube algorithm shows this to more fans who deserve to know the truth. And if you're not already subscribed to LPBW Update, click that subscribe button and ring the bell. We are the only channel brave enough to bring you these exclusive theories and unconfirmed reports that the mainstream won't touch. You don't want to miss what's coming next. All right, let's get into the specifics. The information we've received centers around what one source called the generational continuity clause. Now, we have not seen the physical contract ourselves, let's be clear. This is based on insider descriptions and reports from people close to the production. This is our investigative theory based on those reports. On the surface, the clause sounds innocent. It's designed to ensure the show can continue for future generations by outlining the terms for featuring minor children. Standard stuff, right? Wrong. Buried deep within the legalese is the poison pill. Our sources allege that the clause gives the network and its producers discretionary power to increase or decrease a minor's on-screen presence based on the narrative contribution of their legal guardians, the parents. Let's translate that from corporate speak into plain English. It means if the network wants a dramatic, explosive fight between Matt and Zach over the farm, they can apply pressure. How? By linking the outcome to something Zach and Tori care about more than anything, their children. Imagine a producer saying, "Look, Zach, we really need you to confront your dad on camera about his offer. We know it's tough, but that's the story this season." If Zach refuses, wanting to handle it privately, the network can invoke the clause. Suddenly, the planned segment on Jackson's first T-ball game, it's cut for time. The heartwarming scene of Lila learning to walk, it's replaced with a less compelling B-roll of the farm. The children's appearances and the extra income that comes with them become a bargaining chip. It forces the parents into a terrible choice: protect your privacy and your family's peace, or ensure your children are featured on the show that has defined your family for a generation. It's a system of control, pure and simple. And once you understand this alleged framework, the events of the past few years don't just make sense, they snap into terrifying focus. A theory is nothing without evidence, but the evidence isn't in a courtroom, it's been hiding in plain sight. On the show, on social media, in podcasts. Let's follow the trail, starting with the biggest bombshell to hit the Roloff family in years. For months, fans have speculated why Zach and Tori really left the show. They said it was for their privacy, to get away from the drama. On their podcast, Raising Heights, they were clear that certain aspects of the show were no longer working for them. But they were also careful with their words, likely bound by non-disclosure agreements. But what if their departure wasn't just about the farm drama? What if the farm drama was simply the final straw in a long battle against the generational continuity clause? Our theory is this: Zach and Tori were pushed to their breaking point. The pressure to continually relive their family's most painful conflict for ratings became unbearable. Look at the timeline. The farm negotiations fail. The tension between Zach and Matt is at an all-time high. The show's narrative is 100% focused on this conflict. Our theory suggests that producers, hungry for more, kept pushing. They wanted more confrontation, more tears, more anger. And when Zach and Tori drew a line in the sand, deciding to protect their mental health and their relationship with Matt, the network may have used the only leverage they had left. You don't want to give us the farm fight? Fine, but we have full discretion over what airs. Suddenly, the balance of their on-screen life would shift. Less focus on the joys of their children, more on the manufactured drama they were desperately trying to escape. For Zach and Tori, the choice became clear. The only way to win the game was to stop playing. They walked away from the show to save their family, not just from the public drama, but from the private manipulation behind the scenes. They chose their children's well-being over a paycheck and the network's demands. It was a declaration of independence. Now, let's talk about the grandchild who has, without a doubt, had the most screen time, Jackson Roloff. He's charismatic, funny, and incredibly endearing. The camera loves him, and so do the viewers. But in the context of our theory, Jackson's prominence takes on a new, more calculated meaning. Our theory posits that the network identified Jackson early on as the heir apparent to the LPBW franchise. He has a built-in storyline that mirrors his father's and grandfather's. A charming little person navigating the world, facing medical challenges with a brave face. He is, from a producer's standpoint, a perfect narrative engine. Why is this significant? Because it suggests that Zach and Tori, for many years, were playing the game. They were delivering the storylines the network wanted. The move to Washington, the new house, Tori's pregnancies, Jackson's health scares, these were all compelling narratives. And as a reward, Jackson became a central character. He wasn't just a grandchild, he was a star. But this star treatment also created a dependency. The more central Jackson became to the show, the more power the network had. The generational continuity clause became even more potent. Threatening to reduce Jackson's screen time wasn't just a threat to cut a scene, it was a threat to diminish the public's connection to a character they had grown to love. It was the ultimate power play. Think about it. Why do we know so much more about Jackson's personality and journey than, say, his sister Lila's or his cousins? While we see them, their character arcs are not nearly as developed. Our theory suggests this is by design. The network invested its narrative capital in Jackson, making him the key to controlling his parents. To understand the present, we have to look to the past. Years before Zach and Tori's dramatic exit, another Roloff son walked away from the cameras, Jeremy. At the time, Jeremy and Audrey's departure in 2018 was framed as a desire to pursue other projects and to stop sharing every detail of their lives. But what if they were the canaries in the coal mine? Our theory suggests that Jeremy and Audrey saw the writing on the wall. They saw the direction the show was heading. They saw the increasing demand for manufactured drama and the subtle ways the network was beginning to exert control. The generational continuity clause, or an early version of it, was likely already in their contracts. They were faced with a choice. They could stay, have their daughter Ember's childhood documented and commodified by the network, and be forever tied to the demands of producers, or they could build their own brand on their own terms. They chose independence. Look at them now. They have a successful business, a popular podcast, and a growing family, and they control 100% of their own narrative. They don't need a producer's approval to share a family moment. They don't have to trade a private argument for a public paycheck. By leaving when they did, they dodged the very system that would go on to ensnare Zach and Tori. Their exit wasn't just a career change. It was a preemptive strike to protect their future children from the very clause that is now allegedly at the heart of the family's turmoil. If Jeremy and Audrey were the prophets, then Jacob Roloff and his wife Isabel are the rebels. Jacob has always been the most outspoken critic of the show, famously calling it staged and inauthentic. For years, many fans dismissed him as a disgruntled teenager. But now, his words seem less like rebellion and more like a stark warning. Jacob grew up on camera. He experienced firsthand how a childhood can be edited, packaged, and sold for ratings. Our theory is that he understands the network's machinery better than anyone. He knows that once you let the cameras in, you give up control, and his actions speak louder than any words. Look at how he and Isabel fiercely protect their son, Mateo's privacy. They have never shown his face to the public. This isn't just a personal preference. It's a political statement. It is a direct and powerful rejection of the entire reality TV ecosystem and the generational continuity clause at its core. By refusing to show Mateo's face, they are making him immune to the network's alleged leverage. A producer can't threaten to cut a child's screen time if that child has no screen time to begin with. They cannot turn a child into a pawn if that child is not on the board. Jacob and Isabel have built a fortress of privacy around their son, ensuring that he will never be used as a bargaining chip in a contract negotiation. Their stance is the most damning evidence of all because it reveals what someone who grew up inside the system believes is necessary to protect their own child from it. This alleged system of control doesn't just affect the children and their parents. It places the grandparents, Matt and Amy, in an impossible position. They are the matriarch and patriarch of the family, but on the show, they too must answer to the network. Matt Roloff is a brilliant businessman and, in many ways, a co-producer of the show. He understands the need for storylines and conflict to keep the ratings high. But our theory suggests that even he is not immune to the pressure of the generational continuity clause. Think about it. The most compelling content Matt has is his interaction with his grandchildren. Jackson riding around the farm with his grandpa is pure television gold. The network knows this. So when it comes time to create drama, Matt is in a bind. Does he push his kids for a confrontation that he knows will make for good TV because he knows it will also guarantee those heartwarming scenes with his grandkids make it to air? It creates a perverse incentive. The clause could subtly encourage him to lean into the conflict, to play the part of the stubborn patriarch, because it serves the dual purpose of creating drama and securing the very family moments he cherishes on the show. He is both a player in the game and a pawn of the network that demands it. How much of the farm feud was genuine family disagreement, and how much was amplified by this underlying contractual pressure on everyone involved. Amy's position is perhaps even more heartbreaking. For years, her primary storyline has been her post-divorce life and her new marriage to Chris Marek. But her most powerful role on the show is that of grandma. The clause puts her in the same bind as Matt. Her on-screen relationship with her grandchildren is a huge draw for viewers. Does she feel pressure to fur up opinions on the farm drama, to stir the pot just enough to satisfy producers, to ensure her baking sessions with the grandkids aren't left on the cutting room floor? It forces the grandparents to weigh their every action. A private, supportive conversation with Zach might be what's best for the family, but a televised, emotional debate is what's best for the show. The generational continuity clause, if it exists as our sources describe, taints every interaction. It turns grandparents into performers and family get-togethers into potential bargaining chips. After hearing all of this, it might be easy to point fingers within the family. But based on our analysis and insider reports, the blame lies not with the Roloffs, but with the machine that drives them, the reality television industry. For a network like TLC, a show like Little People, Big World is not a family album. It's an asset. It's a product that needs to generate ratings to sell advertising. And in the competitive world of television, ratings are fueled by drama, conflict, and high-stakes emotion. As a show ages, producers face a constant challenge: how to keep it fresh, how to keep viewers from changing the channel. The answer is to up the ante. The fights have to be bigger, the stakes have to be higher. A simple disagreement over the price of a farm is no longer enough. It has to be a legacy-defining, family-shattering conflict. The generational continuity clause is, in our theory, a tool born of this desperation. It's a brutally efficient mechanism for manufacturing drama. Why spend weeks hoping for a natural conflict to arise when you can contractually engineer the conditions for it? Why hope the family will be open and vulnerable when you can give them a reason they have to be? The children are the key, their innocence, their charm, their screen appeal. It's the show's most valuable untapped resource. By linking that resource to storyline demands, the network gains ultimate control. They can steer the ship in any direction they choose, forcing the family to either play along or risk fading into obscurity. It's a cynical corporate strategy that prioritizes profit over people, and it may have pushed the Roloff family to its breaking point. So, where does this leave the Roloffs? For years, they have been living a life that many would dream of. They have fame, wealth, and a platform to share their story. But our investigation suggests it has come at a staggering hidden cost. They are trapped in a golden cage. The bars of the cage are the contracts, the NDAs, and the ever-present cameras. And the key to the cage seems to be held by network executives who see them not as a family, but as a cast of characters in a long-running drama. Zach and Tori's escape, Jeremy and Audrey's foresight, Jacob and Isabel's rebellion, these are not isolated incidents. We believe they are all reactions to the same oppressive system. A system where a child's laughter comes with contractual obligations and where family love can be quantified and leveraged by a television network. The heartbreaking reality is that the next generation of Roloffs was born into a business. And the generational continuity clause, as described by our sources, was the mechanism designed to ensure they would serve that business, whether they or their parents wanted to or not. It turned the most precious part of their family into a commodity. This is the theory we've pieced together from the whispers and reports coming from behind the curtain of Little People, Big World. We believe the evidence hiding in plain sight supports this narrative. But what do you think? Do you believe the network would use the grandchildren as pawns in contract negotiations? Does this theory explain the sudden exit of Zach and Tori? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Your insights and discussions are what make this community at LPBW Update so powerful. If you found this investigation eye-opening, please share this video with another LPBW fan. The more people who question the official narrative, the better. Thank you for joining us for this exclusive report. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives that you won't find anywhere else. This is LPBW Update, signing off.